In our last video of the semester, we will be studying DNA analysis through the use of gel electrophoresis. It was a dark and stormy night when Brooke was walking back from Hunt Library. With all the wind and rain, it was hard to see where she was walking and she tripped over something. She looked down on the ground and saw she had tripped over a body. After she finished screaming in fear, she called the police. The police had CSI on the scene to look for any DNA evidence that might help the police find the killer. A hair was left behind at the scene and a gel electrophoresis was run at 2 different loci. The police also ran the gel electrophoresis with the DNA from the victim in 4 different suspects. These are the results. To determine who the hair belongs to, we can start by comparing the sample bands to the victim and 4 suspects at VNTR locus 1 and 2. The bands for the victim do not match up with the sample in the first locus. We can move down to the second locus to double check if this is the same case, and it is, excluding the victim from being the possible owner of the hair. We can now move on to suspect 1, and we see that in both loci, the bands do not match up to the sample. This allows us to also exclude suspect 1 from the pool of possible killers. We see in the first locus for suspect 2, we have a 100% match to the sample DNA. This looks promising, but to double check, we have to move on to locus 2. In locus 2, we again see that the suspect 2 and the sample bands are the exact same again. This leads us to believe that suspect 2 left this hair at the crime scene. We still want to check the other suspects, so we look at the bands of suspect 3 compared to the sample. We see that in locus 1, the bands do not match up, but they do in locus 2. Because the bands only match up in one sample and not both, we cannot say that this suspect left a hair at the crime scene and exclude them as well. Lastly, we take a look at suspect 4. We see in the first locus that the bands match both the sample and suspect 2. This could mean suspect 4 might have also left the hair, or the 2 suspects are possibly related. To determine which it is, we must also look at locus 2. In locus 2, we see the bands of suspect 4 do not match the sample and only one of the bands are similar to that of suspect 2 in locus 2. This allows us to conclude that suspect 2 may be the child of suspect 4 or vice versa. After looking at the bands of all suspects and comparing to the sample left at the scene, we can conclude that it was suspect 2 that left the hair since both loci showed a 100% match. Suspect 2 is guilty of murder. These are my references. Thank you for watching.